Hello there, and welcome to the Full Spectrum Show. Today we are looking into some more gaming news. And I'm talk about are exclusives even worth it today in modern gaming? I just don't know, honestly. We'll get into that a bit more, though. We also are going to look at Sony's playbook, or their possible playbook, of what they'll do to respond to Microsoft's massive acquisition of Activision Blizzard. All right, let's get into it. So, on our first point, are exclusives even worth it anymore? I really don't know. In fact, I'm not even. Actually, I do kind of know. I don't think they are. If what they say is true about these consoles being sold at basically a loss, which I'm assuming they are with the amount of power that they're being given, and especially these new modern consoles, it's really impressive. Really impressive, honestly. You couldn't make a PC run that well for that price. You just couldn't. And so it doesn't surprise me at all that they'd be selling them for a loss. But the real question is when they're buying these, like Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard, for example, if they own Call of Duty, does it make sense to not sell to their competitor? Make an exclusive in that realm, to me, makes zero sense at all. Because in my mind, you would want to get as much money as possible. And I guess, yes, you might lose some subscription to, Xbox Game Pass or something like that. But I'd imagine you'd more than make up for it in sales of physical copies of a game and also in microtransactions. So would it be better to sell even your games on Sony's platform and still make your money off of people buying games on Sony from your game developers? It really, really makes sense that way. And maybe, you choose very select, very popular single-player titles that don't really have a lot of microtransactions that you're only going to get that one-time sale cost on. Maybe those are the exclusives that you really want to aim for. And we've seen Sony do this plenty of times in the past, Games like God of War, Days Gone, and many other great single-player games. The Uncharted series, they have a pretty good record of having great single-player games that are exclusive to the PlayStation. And that's really good for them. And I'm sure it's driven a lot of people to go out and actually buy, PlayStations. And also probably a subscription with that in terms of PlayStation Online and stuff like that. So, in my mind, maybe single-player games. So this could be a bad thing for games like Starfield and other single-player games that are coming up. But even then, if you are just losing that little bit, you still own the studio. So it still makes kind of more sense just to sell your game on as many platforms as possible and make as much money as possible. Isn't that the end of the goal? The end of the day, the goal for these big companies is to make money, I'd love it if people just made games for the passion of making games and making good games, but clearly we see year after year after year that we see so many games that aren't that way. Games coming out incomplete, and I just want to make games great again, really. We need to build a wall around all these greedy corporations. Just kidding. But for real, these companies, they could make more money by being more player-centric, by being more consumer-friendly. It's just so bizarre to me that it's just a foreign concept, But apparently this is the case. But it looks like, Activision is going to be committed to releasing at least the next 3 Call of Duty games, which are the big ones, at least, But if they do go into a non-annual schedule, that could be pretty far in the future of Call of Duty being released. So we'll see. Time will tell. I think that still in the long run, it doesn't make sense to make a multiplayer that is this big exclusive. Lower your player counts and, it's just bad all around. You probably will make less money on it than if you shared, honestly. And if you own the game company, then Sony players that were loyalists that want to play that game would still be paying Microsoft. So it makes zero sense to me. So I'm sure that we'll see plenty of multi-platform use. At least in my mind, that's the only way forward for me. It doesn't make any sense otherwise. And as far as Sony goes, what will be their next plays? Could Sony buy EA in response to Microsoft's deal for Activision? But not just EA. We got to look at Take-Two, Ubisoft. There's a huge amount of game companies that could really use a boost and honestly could use a lot of love. from Ubisoft's generic open world generator that they seem to have going on with every game series now, from ever since like Far Cry, then the Assassin's Creed series, and just on and on. There's all blending into one game, it seems. It's crazy to me. But that's what it is, you know, and maybe we're going to see Sony being able to take the reins a little bit here and really do something really spectacular and turn a lot of these games around. I really hope so. I really do. But who knows? It's going to be hard to say. And another really interesting thing that this article brings up is that Disney could also be looking to purchase EA, which, owning ESPN and EA Sports, that can create a lot of unique opportunities, like a real sports metaverse. So there's a lot of money that they could build off of there. So there's a lot of competition for Sony right now. And Microsoft took a pretty large blow at Sony in general. When the Microsoft deal was announced, they knocked off $20 billion of Sony's market cap. That's a third of what they just bought that for. I mean, a little, obviously. A little more than that, but $69 trillion. Microsoft is making moves, and it's hurting Sony already. So I feel like they're going to respond somehow. And I feel like there's going to be a lot of competition. And I don't feel bad for these bad game companies that are going to be bought up. Sorry, EA. Sorry, Ubisoft. You've made great things. But in the past, just make games great again. That's all I want. Just please, 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 please make games great again. And you'll make the money that you now seem to be so consumed with doing only. And when you get that pigeonholed on that one idea, you actually make your games worse and you end up making less money. But, you know, what do I know? I'm just a layman on the internet talking about stuff, making up opinions, things as I go. Anyways, I appreciate you joining me on the Full Spectrum Show. Hope you enjoyed. Come back, enjoy some more. Thank you very much.